Guys, what is going on? As you can see by the title of this video, rumors are abounding for next year's WrestleMania 35 at Metlife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, the New York City area, that The Rock, the People's Champion, could potentially return and possibly wrestle at WrestleMania next year. Now, as a huge fan of The Rock, one of my all-time favorites, and if I have the opportunity to go to WrestleMania, the last time that he wrestled, take away what he did at WrestleMania 32, don't really count that, it was a squash match, whatever. His last full match was at WrestleMania 29 versus John Cena, and I saw that. Wasn't that great of a match, let's be honest, it really wasn't. But for me, as a Rock fan, it was great to see The Rock wrestle, so hearing that he could potentially return at WrestleMania 35. And hey, who knows, tonight, by the time this video is uploaded, you'll know one way or the other. Raw is in Miami. It's July 30th. Rock's hometown. Could he make a surprise return to confront Elias? I would love to see that. But, yeah, Rock seems to be interested. It's been a while since we've seen him on WWE TV. I mean, his last appearance on television, it has to be WrestleMania 32. He wasn't at 33, he wasn't at 34. I know he was at the Raw in LA in 2017, but he didn't appear on TV. He only appeared to the live crowd, so it's been a while since we've seen The Rock. So I have this article from Bleacher Report down below in the description box for you guys, containing the information about potentially The Rock returning to wrestle next year at WrestleMania 35. And we all know recently The Rock did an interview with Kathy Kelly of WWE at the Skyscraper movie premiere, and he said this: "I can't wait to get back into a WWE ring. People always ask me what it's like being in a WWE ring. Now, I've always told them there's nothing like that. There is nothing like being inside a WWE ring because there's a certain live crowd acumen that is second to none. That was always and will always be the best part of my job when it comes to wrestling. Whether I'm wrestling a match or just giving a promo, that connection with the audience, there is nothing like it." Now, The Rock's 46, and he'll be turning 47 soon next May, so the clock is ticking, you know, quote unquote. He's a busy man, but if his schedule can align, there are a number of opponents that I would like to see The Rock face at WrestleMania 35. So real quickly, I wanted to run down the top 5 opponents that I would like to see The Rock face if he would return to wrestle one match at WrestleMania 35. So without further ado, let's get into this top 5. Number 5, Triple H. I love The Rock and Triple H feud. I just got finished watching it on the network. Man, oh man, 2000 did Rock and Triple H. I mean, that was their year. You know, Austin being out with the neck injury, you know, Foley retiring, put Triple H over big, loved the McFoley Triple H feud. Then we had Triple H Rock. It felt so real, it felt so intense, because both were gunning for that top spot in the WWF. Who wanted to be the WWF champion? You know, Triple H with the McMahon-Helmsley faction versus the People's Champion, and everything that The Rock had to overcome, and then he finally beat Triple H at Backlash. Oh man, it was incredible. So rekindling that feud, which they teased several years ago on SmackDown, and hey, if you want to kick that off, you could kick it off on the 1000th episode of SmackDown, which is coming up this October. And I hope to see The Rock there on the 1000th episode of SmackDown. He should be there. So Rock Triple H, you know, it's a nostalgia, you know, pick right here. But they never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, believe it or not. They had that fatal 4-way nonsense with a McMahon in every corner at WrestleMania 16. To me, that should have been Rock Triple H one-on-one. You didn't need Big Show, you didn't need Mick Foley in there. So, if they want to go that route, I'd be completely fine with it. You know, it would be a great addition to the card. You know, even though they're two part-timers, you know, some people may have a gripe with that. You know, they have their spot, and that way, you know, frees up more room for other guys and girls on the card. So that's my number 5 pick, Rock Triple H. Number 4, Elias. Elias has been teasing, calling out The Rock, talking about his concerts in comparison to The Rock concerts. Like I said, it would not surprise me tonight on Raw if we get a special appearance from The Rock, because Lord knows Raw needs some injection of electricity, because that show has been in the doldrums for a while. Seeing The Rock versus Elias, it would be a great, spotlight on a young talent like Elias. Be a great rub. Just getting into the ring with The Rock. I think they could have some fun back and forth promo battles leading up to that match. And like I said, I really like the way that Elias has been teasing, calling out The Rock. Saying, hey, Rock, I'm here. I'm on Raw. You know where to find me. I'll be here every Monday night. Ball's in your court, pal. So, yeah, Rock Elias, I think it could be a fun program. That's why it's number 4 here on my list. Number 3 here, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins versus The Rock. I think Seth could get one hell of a match out of The Rock. Clash of Styles here, would be great. And we all know Seth has been tearing it down in 2018. I can't think of a bigger opponent for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania next year than The Rock. You have babyface Rock versus heel Seth Rollins. I think, ooh, man, that could be one hell of a great program. Rock would just sell the hell out of that curb stomp, just like he did when Punk hit him with the GTS. I always love Rock selling. Could be get a little bit over top at times, but man, he does know how to sell. And I would just love to see what type of match that these two could have at a WrestleMania on the grandest stage of them all. So you put somebody who's on, a really recent hot streak like Seth Rollins in there against the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, and woo, past versus present. There you go. Number 2 on my list, Roman Reigns as asterisk a heel. I think a heel Roman Reigns versus a babyface Rock. Because Rock's going to get cheered no matter what. People love The Rock. And it goes back to the Royal Rumble 2015. When The Rock endorsed him, could you imagine if Roman Reigns at that moment, they went, oh, this guy's getting booed. This ain't working. Let's have him beat the shit out of The Rock. And that could have set the stage for maybe a future showdown at a WrestleMania. There's some, Rock's taken out of the equation. This ain't working. They're booing The Rock, too, at the Royal Rumble. So that's a way you could have negated that, possibly. Just saying. But I think heel Roman versus The Rock, there's the lineage behind there. Their family history, Samoan legacy history. And you can go back to the Royal Rumble 2015, and all centers around that. And I just think these two could have a hell of a program. With Reigns as the heel, just beating down The Rock, and The Rock just, the people just getting behind him. Rocky. I think it would make for some great stuff leading into a WrestleMania match. I think the build, if done right, it would be a huge moment, for Roman, because I'm sure The Rock would have no problems doing the honors for Roman. But I really wouldn't want to see this program if it's, oh, I respect you, Rock, blah, 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 blah. I have no interest in seeing this program if it's two baby faces going at it. Just, that wouldn't do anything for me. But if it's a heel Roman Reigns versus The Rock, then we got something there. That's something that I've always wanted to see personally. So that's why it's number 2 here on my list. And finally, number 1, the People's Champ versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. The house that AJ Styles built, well, he's just living in it, because let's be honest, The Rock is the true creator of SmackDown Live. After all, The Rock did come up with the word SmackDown, which became the basis for SmackDown, and now it's become live on Tuesdays, and it's moving to Fox, and we got 1,000 episodes. I couldn't think of a better way to begin this build than on the 1,000th episode of SmackDown Live. You could have some type of confrontation between The Rock and AJ, and then something happens, maybe AJ takes out The Rock, blah, 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 and then, boom, we're off to the races for WrestleMania. I think the person that could get the best match out of The Rock, in addition to Seth Rollins, would be AJ Styles. Man, I could only imagine what type of match they could have on the grand stage of WrestleMania 35. And to be able to see that match would be really, really, really awesome. If you do The Rock versus AJ Styles, a Shield triple threat for the Universal Championship, and then you throw in Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, that's a really good card coming up right now. I'm just like, boom, that match. Boom, this match. I want to see that. You know, it's just like, that's how you build up a WrestleMania. John Cena versus Samoa Joe. Throw that match onto the card. It's like, now we're really getting a card that is like, this is what WrestleMania should be. And like I said, a match between two, the founding figure of SmackDown versus the top dog now on SmackDown Live, AJ Styles, the house that AJ Styles built. The story to me just writes itself, And I think they could have one hell of a match. Probably the best match that The Rock could have since he made his return in 2011. So, those are the top 5 opponents that I would like to see The Rock face if he does return to the ring at WrestleMania 35. Fingers crossed, hope he does, because Rock's one of my all-time favorites, and it doesn't get much better than that. So, guys, the link to that article will be down below in the description box. And I want to say thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to click my like and subscribe button here on youtube.com/DanielGuyza412. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at DanielGuyza412 for all my latest tweets. And be sure to click that that Facebook button down below, facebook.com/DanielGuyza1994. And guys, I want to say thank you all for watching this video. Until next time, thanks for watching. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.